So when you're thinking about going solar, the first thing that probably comes to mind are the essentials, right? But what about all this stuff that really makes a house feel like a home? Today, we're going to go beyond just survival and get into the art of planning for real comfort.
All right, so imagine this. You've already done the hard work. You've figured out the critical power you need. The lights stay on, the fridge is humming, you know you're safe and connected. But now, you get to ask a much more exciting question. What about everything else?
Well, that's where non-essential loads come in. We like to call them comfort loads. These are all the conveniences that just make life smoother. And look, understanding them isn't about setting limits on yourself. It's about being smart so you can grow your solar system step by step with real intention and clarity.
Okay, let's really dive into this. If we're going to plan for comfort, we first have to understand what that comfort actually costs in terms of energy. That means we got to identify these appliances and get a real feel for what they demand.
Wow, just look at the kitchen. These things are hungry for power. An electric kettle can pull a massive 2,000 watts. The dishwasher's right up there with it. Now, these things make our lives way more efficient, but they draw a huge amount of power, even if it's just for a few minutes at a time.
Now, in our living rooms and offices, it's kind of a different story. Your laptop? Super efficient, maybe 60 watts. But then you fire up a gaming console or a big desktop computer, and those numbers start to climb. And would you believe a vacuum cleaner can pull as much power as a microwave? It really is all about knowing what you're using and when you're using it.
And get this, when you add it all up, if you just use everything without thinking about it, these comfort loads can gobble up nearly 18 kilowatt hours a day. To put that in perspective, powering all of that on demand would mean you'd need a system 3 times larger than one designed just for your essentials. And that's not just 3 times the cost for equipment, it's the whole shebang all at once.
And this is where you have that big aha moment. Trying to power everything from day one is it's overwhelming and it's super expensive. The real key here is to see energy independence as a journey. It grows best in stages, building one layer of capacity at a time. That's what makes it so much more manageable.
So what's the game plan? Well, it's a clear step-by-step roadmap. Let's walk through the 4 stages of solar planning, taking you from that basic security all the way to complete energy freedom. Stage 1 is your foundation. It's all about resilience. This setup powers only what you absolutely need to be safe, healthy, and functional. We're talking lights, the fridge, your water pump, internet, the critical stuff. This is your secure baseline.
And to get there, you'd be looking at a modest but really capable system. Something like 3 kilowatts of solar panels, a 10 kilowatt-hour battery, and a 4 kVA inverter, which basically measures how much power it can handle at once. This setup gives you real peace of mind, because it keeps those essentials running even through a few cloudy days. All right, now in stage 2, we start layering in those daily comforts. This is where you can run the dishwasher, do a load of laundry, use your kitchen gadgets, and enjoy your TV and electronics. Life starts to feel a whole lot more normal and convenient.
Of course, the system has to grow to handle that. We're pretty much doubling the solar and battery capacity to take on that extra load. This stage offers a fantastic balance. You get everyday comfort, but the system is still efficient and pretty affordable for most families.
Stage 3, this is where you achieve a truly modern off-grid lifestyle. This system can support almost all of your appliances, even if they're running at the same time. The big exceptions here are electric home heating and charging an electric vehicle. But for most of the year, you have abundant comfort and independence.
And to do that, you need a pretty robust setup. We're talking 8 kilowatts of solar, a big battery bank somewhere between 30 and 50 kilowatt hours, and a powerful inverter. This is a system designed for a full, comfortable home life.
And finally, we arrive at stage 4. This is the highest level of energy independence you can really aim for. This is for folks looking to power their entire life with the sun. We're talking home heating with a heat pump and even charging your electric car.
Now the numbers here, they're just massive. A 30 kilowatt solar array, a staggering 160 kilowatt hours of battery storage. This is basically a personal power plant for your home. But even with a system this powerful, there's a really important reality check we have to talk about.
And that's the catch. We have to be honest about winter and the very real limits of even the most powerful solar systems out there.
This chart tells such a critical story. Let's say on a typical winter day, your heating, your EV, and all your home appliances demand around 70 kilowatt hours of energy. But that huge solar array, on a short, cloudy day, it might only generate 20. That gap, well, that's the reality of winter solar.
So what does that mean in practice? It means even with a top-tier Stage 4 system, you need a winter plan. You might still lean on the grid during the darkest months, maybe have a backup generator, or you simply adjust your habits and reduce your heating and EV charging. It's all about having realistic expectations.
And you know, this all comes back to the core wisdom of this whole approach. It's not just about buying bigger and bigger hardware. It's about shifting your mindset toward gradual growth and being a smart steward of your energy.
When it comes right down to it, those comfort loads are not the enemy. They're not a threat to your energy independence. They just require a little bit of timing and awareness. Really, they're an opportunity for us to manage our resources wisely and learn to live in sync with the energy we have.
And it can be surprisingly simple stuff. You know, running the washing machine when the sun is at its highest point, waiting to use the dishwasher if it's a cloudy day. Simple little habits like these protect your system, they make it last longer, and you get the most out of every bit of energy you're harvesting.
I'd like to leave you with this final thought from Proverbs. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. By planning your solar journey in these thoughtful stages, you're not just building a power system, you're building a home that's peaceful, resilient, and truly abundant.